Welcome back to Good Morning Vail. I'm your host, Gretchen. I'm so excited. I am here with two amazing, lovely women from Another Happy Day, Jessie Holder-Tortola, got it correctly, and Nora Pfeiffer. How are you doing, Jessie and Nora?
It's so nice to be here. Thanks for having us, Gretchen.
Thank you so much for having us.
Of course. I am so happy you guys are here, and I am going to dive right in. Your film, it really strikes a chord with so many people, and I love that it is kind of defined by a postpartum depression comedy, because like I was saying, I just think this is so interesting and something different that maybe people haven't heard before. Can you kind of take us into what that means and what this film is all about?
When I had my first child, I certainly didn't have time to write a script, but I was clocking how challenging the experience was becoming a mother, and also how surreal and absurd it was. So I was either crying or laughing, and that's the energy and tension that I wanted to capture in Another Happy Day. So it wasn't until my daughter was a little bit older that I could actually start to craft this story, but I wanted to slow down time and give the audience an opportunity to really see what it's like to become a mother.
I love that. So it's really an insight, a little peek into what it's like. And I love that you said, so often I think we kind of fantasize or I tend to look for the good in everything, which is beautiful.
Oh, right? I was so excited to become a mother. I had the highest expectations.
Right, but then you're able to say, hey, it is beautiful and it's hard.
Exactly.
And that's beautiful in its own self.
Both.
Right.
It's absolutely both. And this is the movie that I wish that I had before becoming a mother. Mm-hmm. I would have loved to have had some insight and perspective to how the challenges.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and everyone always says, right, like there should be a book. You can't write a book about this, but you're showing women and men, I'm assuming, because both are seeing this.
Absolutely. This film is for fathers as much as it is for mothers. Or people who
My husband
would like to be.
Hysterically when he first saw it, because he obviously, I met Nora when I was quite pregnant with my son, and so read the script on the verge of becoming a mother and thought it was hysterical. And
so Jessie, you were literally reading the script as you were pregnant.
Oh, we were in a lab together, a filmmaking lab called From Script to Pre-Production, and we had the assignment to read all of the other scripts in the lab, and Nora's was the one that resonated with me, and and I couldn't stop laughing. And then I had my child, went through my own postpartum experience and postpartum depression, and we kept working on this movie during that time and kept working to put the team together to make it. So by the time it was done, and my husband sat down and watched the rough cut, he was crying, laughing. So this is for men that might be watching this interview, this is for you as well. You should absolutely.
Well, I love this because it was very serendipitous that you guys met in this moment. It was meant to be.
Absolutely. And Jessie on set, pumping on brakes. I mean, and
literally there with my 1-year-old out of town, with a breast pump strapped to my chest as I wander around checking things.
I love this. So you are the movie. The movie is you.
And Lauren Lapkus, our lead, who is hilarious and such a revelation in this role, because we're seeing a side of her as an actress that we haven't seen before.
I love that you said this, because I want to dive in on that moment. Oh my goodness, we all know her from, many things, but Orange is the New Black,
of course,
right?
Yeah.
So you think of this, she is powerful, very kind of edgy and baddie woman.
Yeah.
And now it's like you're seeing her in a whole different light, which I love.
Absolutely.
It's vulnerable, it's real, it's still all of the funny that you can always expect from anything Lauren is doing.
Right.
But with this, she was just so profoundly pleasant to watch work in this, because she was herself a new mother at the time. Her daughter is about the same age as my son.
Okay, how wild is that?
Truly, this is magic and mothers is this whole movie, and watching her just kind of process and go back through, and the way she connected with our on-set baby, and it was really beautiful to witness.
I love that.
And it was important for us to have mothers in these lead roles on the film, because we wanted to provide childcare for anyone working on the film, which we did. We committed to providing childcare for the parents.
I don't think anyone would think about that. That's amazing.
So we were lucky enough to be in a fiscal sponsorship relationship with a nonprofit called Full Spectrum Features, which allowed us to pursue not only equity investment in the film, but also issue-based donation.
Full Spectrum
Features in Chicago.
Oh, wow.
And so through a wonderful contribution by Liza Yuntema and her husband Mark, we had a sponsorship for a childcare initiative, which it's been really a hallmark of how we've talked about this movie, that we were this tiny little indie that could, with this little budget, and we managed to shoot 8-hour days, which is unheard of in film, fund childcare, and if we can do it, anyone can do it. And I think it's a testament to priorities. And because women and mothers were making this film, those things simply were priorities, and they were baked into how we made it.
I feel like this film, I don't feel like it is not just a film, a movement of sorts.
That's our hope. If we can do it, we want to set a precedent. It's a lot of planning, and if you make it a priority, you really can provide these support nets for people so that you make space for people to work, and you signal to people, this is a place where we want you to work. There's room here because we are anticipating your childcare needs. And even if you're not a parent, it's still great for work-life balance to have an 8-hour shoot day.
I think it really requires people in leadership who are ready to listen to the concerns of the people that are working with them, to listen. We had an art department come to us in the first 2 days going, I know that you want to shoot 8 hours, but we're still working these crazy hours. Okay, well, we're going to find the money to hire you another person.
Wow.
And then if it's not money, I mean, it's from what was the phrase that I used forever, lean as a style. So it was months of pre-production of me and Nora sitting and having meetings talking about how do we bake lean coverage and the creative of the film into a style and a visual language that maximizes the time that we do have. And that it just takes people in these positions who are prepared to have those conversations over and over and over again.
You guys, I am so excited about the film, but you two could rule the world. I'm feeling this moment. I'm here for it.
We would like that. We think we have some answers and solutions.
So now the postpartum part. I know it's not always easy to speak about. We were speaking a little bit off air that it is just recently, I feel like, that people are maybe coming out and being able to talk about it and saying, this is how I feel. This does happen. It is okay to talk about. Let's normalize it. How does that play into the film?
Well, that's such a great question. There has been a stigma for so long, and I think we are starting to shake that off a little bit. But still, I think postpartum depression has this connotation of being a very extreme and diagnosed taboo medical condition. And postpartum depression looks like a lot of different things. And my own personal experience, I wasn't diagnosed with postpartum depression, but I didn't seek a diagnosis. I was too private about what I was going through, and also thought people have it so much worse. I'm fine. I'm fine.
It's huge, yes.
And I was diagnosed, but it took 7-8 months after my son was born, because those silly little surveys that they put in front of you at the doctor's office sound insane. Like it's just the questions are so strange and banal, and you're like, if I answer this completely honestly, people in white coats are going to come take me away. And you just don't do it. I mean, mine was mixed with like weird birth trauma and stuff, so it took took months before I could articulate that. And what you said about it manifesting different ways, I think the public perception of postpartum depression is being shut down, crying all the time, being over in a corner, being completely disconnected from your baby, and that's not how it is for everyone. I mean, you were incredibly connected with your first child.
I connected with my baby, but I personally was having such a struggle inside, and such an identity crisis and shift when you become a parent.
I connected with my son, but didn't want to leave the house. The world felt incredibly dangerous. Like, so it looks very different.
And a little bit awareness and community can make a huge difference, which is our hope for the film.
This is brilliant because you said, obviously, being mothers are really going to relate. I don't have children, but I am relating to you because of stories from my mother and my friends, et cetera, and men as the parents and men as mothers as well. I mean, being maybe the main sole provider as a mom and a dad.
Right.
We all come from a mom who succeeded or failed by her own standards to whatever extent in mothering us. We all have a mom. We all, as women, are negotiating in our lives what our relationship to the notion of motherhood is. Are we going to be mothers? Are we not going to be mothers? What does it mean for your career if you have a child? And men have to have a connection to that reality too. They have moms, they have wives, and they have to figure out in this new generation of millennial hands-on dads, like, what's that going to look like? So this really is about everyone, I think.
Guys, I am so very excited to watch this. We have the trailer. Let's check it out. Another happy day.
You came across town for me to hold your baby?
No, I came across town for you to hold me.
What?
I'm kidding. Kind of.
I thought you were here to sell me Tupperware or Mary Kay.
Do you need Tupperware or Mary Kay?
I like the samples.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
You know what? We should probably get going anyway.
Goodbye.
Okay. It was lovely meeting you, Miriam. You know, if you need anything.
I don't. You do, remember?
What?
You need someone to hold your baby.
I can hold my baby.
I'm not your mother.
Thank God.